ancient land of radio, two hosts were exiled to the world of podcast. Today, they live in the province of Potato Sandwich, formerly known as the District of One Topic. Please welcome Autumn Fisher and Greg Russ. Fucking idiots.
You do a budget, huh?
I do.
I don't. I make so much money, I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, what's that like?
I mean, that's not necessarily true. But I've never done an official budget. I budget in my head even when I wasn't making that much money. I feel like I had a good grasp of it, but it probably would have been better if I put things down on paper and actually did the math and looked at things for the reality and not the way I viewed it.
Yeah, I thought that I also had a good handle on it, but then I was constantly like building debt and then paying it off and then building it back up again. But then once I started tracking where everything went, like I tried budgeting apps and things, but they were like not customizable enough for me. And like they would call things different things and I just found it more annoying. So I would give up on it. But then I made my own little spreadsheet and it was really fun. I really like it.
I made a
now
good
I get to
spreadsheet.
see like where everything goes and it's cool.
A good spreadsheet is cool. You build it, you put in the equations, plug in numbers, it calculates for you.
Yeah, I've got if-then statements in here. I am super cool.
Maybe that's what you should look for, an accounting job.
Hey, do you have any experience?
Yeah.
I do. I make a budget myself.
Hey, if I were hiring for an accountant,
Yeah.
and with their application, they sent me this really cool spreadsheet that they had built, I'd say, even if they didn't have much experience,
Yeah.
I would at least interview them.
I like that.
Look at this thing.
Look at
This
this.
person's on top of it.
They put work into their own thing. Hopefully they'll put work into my thing.
I put everything on a credit card now. Like I always pay it off. I don't ever pay interest, but I've fallen into the fucking trap of the points and everything. And I got the Delta Amex, and I say, I want the miles and I need the MQDs and I'm going to spend everything on the credit card and I guess it doesn't hurt because I am paying it off. So it's not costing me more in the end, but it is a weird way to go about it. I haven't used my debit card in God knows how long, years.
Yeah. I don't use my debit card unless I've gone over things on my budget and I've got like a little like bucket of money in there. So I can like pull from that if I'm like, oh, I've been buying too many nail supplies, you know, I gotta go. I'm using my debit card, but I use a Costco card to pay for everything, mostly everything. And this year they'll send me $343.30.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Costco's pretty good.
Costco's great. And getting gas at Costco is cheaper and it gives you 5% back.
There is a Costco not too far from me with a parking lot. I was just talking the other day to Christine. I was like, maybe we should get a membership, but I don't know how often I'd actually go. Like, I think it'd be easier if I lived in the suburbs. I just don't want to give up my parking spot. I have such a good parking spot. Why do you own a car?
What's the point of having a car if you don't leave it?
Why do you have a car? It's like, so I can move it around and find the best parking spot. It's a game I play. It was a $20,000 game.
Yeah, there you go.
And now I'm thinking about getting a motorcycle again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. I don't know.
Do you think you're going to use, like, how many, do you feel like the points version of using your credit card is giving you enough, like, back to help you? Because it has to pay for the fee, right? The points that you get back need to be equivalent to how much you pay for the annual fee, plus, like, give you something else, right?
Yeah,
it has
value.
to give you value. Yeah.
The Amex, for example, I have the Amex Platinum, which has an annual fee of $695 fucking dollars, which apparently they're going to change that and up it.
Why?
I don't. Well, because it used to be kind of difficult to get an Amex Platinum, and then they just started handing them out. So everyone's got one. And I guess it doesn't really matter except for when it comes to airport lounges because it gets you access to airport
Right.
lounges. So airport lounges have gotten to a point where you can't get in sometimes because everyone has access. It's completely diminished that perk a bit. So Amex is trying to maybe weed some of these people out. That aside, going to what you asked, the benefits of the card are things like every month you get an Uber/Uber Eats credit of $15, except for December you get like $30. That comes out to be $225 a year. So
can you only use it? Like, how much is it back? 15?
15.
Yeah. Is it? Can you only use it one at a time, or can you accumulate them and use them all at once?
No, you have to use them within the month, else they expire. But we use that enough. Like that's a part of my life.
But I'm saying, can you use it? Can you use it? They expire. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you have to use the 15. You couldn't collect all year and then have like a feast.
So I wonder. I'll bring that up because with my Instacart Plus that I have, I get a $10 credit to going through Instacart to order like delivery, like like a DoorDash, but it's actually through Uber Eats. And when I priced it out, like going through DoorDash or just going through the restaurant directly versus using the Uber Eats through the Instacart ends up being either the same or more and I use that $10 discount because the prices are like $10 or, like $6 more per thing you're ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it's really giving you the 15,
It's giving me the 15. It just knocks $15 off. You get the credit in your account.
No, but I'm saying like the prices per item are more. So when you go through Uber Eats and use their $10, $15 off.
But you're saying the menu prices are more.
Yeah, so that they can recoup that so that you're not actually getting a discount. Because if you go through DoorDash without any discounts, you're going to be paying less than if you, even with the discount of the $15.
No, I mean, since we order every fucking night of our lives, it's probably not good at all. But, you make excuses for yourself. We live in New York. It's what people do.
I mean, that is true.
It is insane. But so I pay for the Uber One so I don't have to pay the delivery fees and it knocks off some of the other fees.
Uh-huh.
Point is, I'm familiar enough where
with the prices.
Yeah, this is just a credit. So it's like, hey, this would have cost you $40. Now it's going to cost you $25.
Okay.
So that is the value's there. They also give you the platinum comes with like a $240 digital credit every year. It's really a $20 credit every month for things like Disney Plus or Sirius.
Oh yeah, they're all like grouped in now.
Yeah, but there's a set number of platforms that they've put on this. Like Netflix isn't part of it, but you just pay it as normal, and then the credit appears on your statement, $20 back. So that's another $250. So you're getting close to $500 there. Then you get access to airport lounges. I do travel enough. That's a value. You get, what else is there? Point is, I don't need to go through the whole thing. I think I do get the value out of the card, despite it being so expensive. And on top of that, the points that you get, this is where I become a hoarder. It's become more of I want to collect as many as I can. I don't actually want to use them. I have like 330,000 Amex points.
Oh, wow.
Which could be used for something, probably many of things. Every time I check out on Amazon, it says you have all these points. You can use this many points for this purchase. I say, nope, I'm hoarding these. I don't know what I'm going to do with it eventually, but I'm hoarding them. Now, this is where it gets fucking insane, and I am a gross consumer, and I am very disappointed in myself.
Okay.
I got the Delta Reserve Amex, which is like $600 fucking a year. Because,
wait, so that's on top of the other Amex card?
On top of the platinum.
Whoa!
Because it gives you like a boost for status. Delta Silver is a joke to anyone who actually has real status, like Diamond, even Platinum. But I liked Silver because you can still use like the express check-in lines, and you can get the preferred seats for free. Like there's
Okay.
still shitty coach seats, but when you're booking your flight, you can pick a seat that's not in row, 40.
Right. Yeah.
So I've, again, fly enough, and I want to maintain that status, and I actually want to try to get to a better status because even though I am aware of exactly what's going on, I still fucking have fallen into the trap and don't care. I'm like, I kind of like it down in this hole, this delta. They put leaves out in the forest floor and I fell in, but it's kind of comfy down here.
Yeah.
On some
You're
level.
in. You're paying $1,200 a year or more for 2 cards.
So the reserve, I think, is harder to get the value out of. Well, the first year it is. The second year you get companion pass.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can use. It can't go like international. You can go to like Mexico or Caribbean.
Do they have like blackout days for
people say it's hard to use? Yes.
Yeah, but I feel like I had a pass once and it was difficult to use.
I hear it's hard to use, but if you do use it, that in itself could almost pay for the fee. So I don't know. I've fallen into this trap of garbage, and then I have the Apple Card also, which has no annual fee.
What is the deal with the Apple Card? Is it
it's not that great of a card, honestly.
Yeah, why is it so special?
It was like the first card made specifically to use with Apple Pay. They don't want you using the physical card itself. They want you to tap. Like, it's what trained me to start tapping my phone, because if you use the card, you get 1% cash back. If you tap, you get 2%. And on some things, you get 3% cash back.
Oh, I'm saying, I feel like this Costco card is the best one so far.
But then that goes straight to, I have it set up to go to a savings account. And that's got like $1,000 in it now, just from all the cash back I got from using the Apple Card.
Okay.
And I just collect that also. Don't spend that money. Let it sit there.
No, I mean, that's a good thing. You should use it for like a vacation or something.
Yeah, I think at some point, I don't know what the threshold would be, but there's some undefined number in my head. So once I get here, then I'll spend it. And, the high savings.
Maybe like Christmas,
Yeah. Maybe not this year, though. 5 years. Okay. Christmas in 5 years.
Oh.
It's one of those high yield savings accounts, which really isn't that high at all, but I guess compared to other savings accounts, it's like at 3.6%. So every year, every month, I don't know, like $15 gets dumped in or something.
Yeah. I have a high yield account it's called Immigrant Direct, which sounds really strange, but it's just an online bank and it gets like 3.5%.
Immigrant.
I know, and it's emigrant. It's EMI.
Emigrant, leave.
Emigrant.
Get the hell out of here. Maybe it's because you're emigrating from traditional banks.
Oh, that's probably what it is. I never thought about it. It has like a I don't even know what this is. Is it like a Uncle Sam hat on the front of the page? It's very American. It's called American Dreams Savings Account.
Why'd you choose this one? Where did you even come across it?
I don't know. I think my parents had it and they were like, use this. I'm like, okay.
How long have you had this bank?
Oh, for so long. I think I've had it for years and years.
But it's online only.
Yeah, it's just online.
Interesting.
Pretty suspicious. Where's this going?
I know. The fact I like that there's online only banks. Obviously there's some cases where you need to go into a bank, but in general, the fact that banks are one of the few entities that can afford rents in New York, so everything turns into there was a diner near Union Square, this coffee shop / diner that was great, and it shut down, and a Chase Bank went in, but the Chase Bank reopened part of the diner so that they want people to come to the bank.
Oh, that's right. I remember Chase being like having like lobbies, and it looked cool in there, like an Apple store, but like a lounge.
Yeah, they come do your work here, get on your laptop and hang out at the bank all day. Fuck you. No, I'm going to hang out at a Chase Bank. You took they didn't take the business. The business couldn't afford the rent anymore, but you're the tenant that the landlord wanted. They knew that you existed and you had shitloads of money that you were willing to pump into this. Even Starbucks can't make it anymore. I bet some of that's maybe people getting tired of Starbucks and not spending as much money there.
I think it's the CEO being an idiot. Wasn't he Chipotle's CEO?
Was he? Is that where he
Yeah,
came
I think
from?
so. Yeah. And he fucked up Chipotle.
I go to
then-
the office every day, and I don't
Yeah,
even
it's
live
no
in
big
Seattle.
deal. I just fly my personal jet from where does he live in? Like Washington to Oregon or Oregon to
Yeah, I think
Washington
he's in-
something.
I think he's in Oregon
Fuck
or Northern
you.
California.
Fuck him. But guess what? No, can't have a. We're not going to give you a straw if you ask for it. You can have it, but and we're not going to put these things out. Oh, and we're going to make so many of our things like a robot now instead of an actual person.
Look at his smug fucking face. I
Yeah,
looked
he's
him
an
up.
idiot.
Brian
These CEOs are all
Nicole.
idiots. I think we're all learning that just because you're CEO does not mean that like you've achieved anything. You're actually a fucking moron.
Autumn, the reason they get paid so much is because they have a skill set that most people don't, like Tom Brady. Like, nobody can step on a field and be Tom Brady. Tom Brady got paid a lot because he's very talented. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with these CEOs.
Same thing.
I'd like to ask Eric about that since that used to be his stance. And he has changed his tune when it comes to
He
this.
has. He's so close to talking about like bringing the means of production back to the people. Like he's so close to eating the rich, but he's just not quite there yet. His like boomer like mentality cannot break through.
This Brian Nickel lives in Newport.
I was raised on. Remember, I'm sorry, really quick. He used to say like, you should want America to explore space before other countries. Like we shouldn't be relying. He called it relying on other countries to explore space. And I said, why can't it be like the ultimate community experience to say like we are outside of the Earth's confines and our bullshit, and we're in outer space now where things are not divided by where you're from or like where you were born and what line means you were from here or where you're out into the new expanse and you still want to be like, I'm an American. Like who gives a fuck? You're in outer space. It's like saying, what time is it? Like there's no time.
But it would also require other countries to be on board with that too. And the countries still work.
That's whatever, like the intricacies of it. I just meant like the spirit, of still having a bunch of patriotism, just because it's like,
I remember the argument from the early basement days.
Yeah.
This was something you always said, and that was always his stance. I understood where you're coming from. I understand where he's coming from. It would be nice if humanity could work together and said, look, let's just put all that bullshit aside and we're just going to chip in and we'll explore together. I mean, it doesn't work like that. The blind patriotism he used to experience, that was definitely gone.
Yeah.
Like, the construct of the world at this point is there are countries, and I would like to live in a country that does offer the best chance at living a nice life and progresses more than other countries. I would never offer patriotism blindly. I thought that it was goofy that even you think back to being a kid, it's like, just do it. You don't question because you're a kid, but it is kind of told to you. It's like, come on, just offer it up. And you start to think about it. It's like, yeah, that's strange. That's kind of a weird thing that just by default, I should say, this is the greatest country on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
And I will gladly give my life. Well, I don't know if anyone's actually gladly given their life. Like, think about
maybe not in the very last moment of the giving of that life, but before then they could have a very romanticized idea about what it means to be there and what you're doing. And
even if it's something that's easier to spin in a positive light, like World War II, it's like the divisions are pretty clear. Good, bad.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if anyone on D-Day is like, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like even the most dedicated American, right? They're not more than 30 years old. And they're seeing everybody. Listen, it's just the beginning of, Saving Private Ryan. Are you thinking about that then? I guess you're not really thinking of anything. You're just like zeroed in on trying not to get shot.
On some level, I think you don't have time to think this, but on some level, I feel like there's a moment like, how the fuck did I get here? How is this my life?
Yeah.
Being
I would be
here-
on that boat and it'd be like that silence, before, and you're just like splashing around. You're like, oh, what the fuck am I doing?
Well, they already heard the bullets hitting the ramp that would drop. So they knew as soon as it dropped, the bullets were coming in.
Yeah, the people in the front. God bless America. Oh, I didn't mean that like the way we're talking. I feel like, goddamn.
I know, you and your newfound socialist stance, going back to when I was a big Bernie Sanders fan. I don't think you're like, huh? Why? Now you would have loved Bernie. If you could transport back to 2016, you'd be at all the rallies.
I don't think I was against Bernie.
I remember we had a conversation though where you weren't opposed to it.
Okay, yeah,
but I
wasn't as radicalized as I am now.
You were a bit confused as to why I was on board with it.
Hmm.
And I look back on it. I don't know. The whole thing has become complex and I don't know necessarily where I fit in. I know what my views are, but I find problems all over the fucking place.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it's really become, I am now feeling more aggravated and annoyed and displeasure with the far left because my, political stances are liberal. And it's like, I don't fucking fit in here. Like, this is not where I want to be. This has become very cult-like, where it really is. If you don't fully agree with what we are saying, then you're not one of us. It's like, that's bullshit. Like, good luck with that. You're not going to get anything fucking accomplished.
No.
When you approach it like that. And a lot of it, and I know this has been talked to death, and I'm not saying anything new, but the identity of politics that are associated with it, it is so fucking insufferable. White people who make decent salaries just constantly going around showing how great they are because of their political views. And, it's a stand-in for religion at this point. That has become their religion. And the root of it is, I believe people think they're being empathetic and looking out for other people. But if they're being honest with themselves, they'd realize how much of it has to do with just them and how they're making themselves feel like better people. This is why it becomes complicated. It's not either or. It's not one thing. It's just grown to this point, though, where it's like a battle to prove who is the best and the most
it's keeping up with
person.
The Wokersons is a way that I've heard it.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. And I don't want to be a part of a group that, because I may not fully agree with something, then immediately labels me as racist or sexist or fascist. It's like, okay, fuck you. I don't know where I fit in. Like, I have the same feelings about the far right. It's just that I never was so close to that, so it doesn't bother me as much. My displeasure has grown out of the fact that I was, I know more people who've fallen into that trap, and I was closer to it. It's like, fuck.
Fallen into which trap?
Just like the far left becoming
the left,
your complete reason for existence. And there's zero ability to look at things rationally and logically and see flaws in things and say, if I really cared about this cause, it would take this to get it done. But it's like, nope, no, I just need to flash this card. Let's flash my badge of purity. And that's all that really matters at the end.
Well, and that's the religious aspect, right? I mean,
we were just expected to buy into it wholeheartedly. And, the Crusades go around and kill people who don't believe in Jesus. So why? Why are you doing this? What's happening? People have an ability to really rationalize terrible behavior.
Yeah. I mean, I think I told you the story about this couple that I guess did some fostering or something of this kid. Maybe they do more than one. I don't know. But they talked about this one particular child that was getting in trouble at school because he was like cutting in line and pushing people away from like the water fountain because he wanted to get his drink first. And they were telling us and trying to explain to the school that, he doesn't know any better and you should let him do that because, he comes from a place where like a world where you have to fight to get anything. And so I had to, in that moment, right? Like, I don't know these people. They're friends of my friend. And so I'm like, oh, yeah. But, that's the kind of thing we were talking about where it's like they feel like they're doing something good, but really it is like that attitude is an elitist attitude that like this person can't learn.
Exactly. And I have the compassion to recognize that. They came
Right.
from a place
no,
that
you're enabling them.
You don't understand where they came from, but I do.
You can do both. You can understand where they came from and say like, yo, you can't push kids away from the waterfall. You got to wait in line. It's the way that our society has decided it works.
It's this whole idea, though, that society should bend to people instead of people figuring out ways to fit into society. You put the responsibility on society to change, which is impossible because then it needs to fit, a million different types of people, which can't happen.
It has to be both.
You can have empathy and compassion and understand why a person may be the way they are, but also say that's bullshit behavior and you need to fucking fix it. Yeah. You can't just go living like this and I'm going to make excuses for you your whole life.
Yeah, it was just really strange. I was like, oh boy.
But I have the ability. I'm so empathetic. I have the ability to really put myself in that person's shoes and understand their background and know why they're that way.
Yeah.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. My patience has run out with it. Eric Adams proved to be one of the worst fucking mayors in New York. But I've brought this up before. When he was running for mayor, white people, educated white people, dismiss what communities of color and working class communities said they wanted in a mayor. They wanted Eric Adams because his stance was, I need to help the police department form better relationships with communities, not defund them. And sure, he was a former cop and you can get into the politics of it and maybe his agenda and motives. But white people would say, they just don't know what's best for them.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck up. You don't live in that community. They probably do know what is best for them. Well, they just haven't even had the opportunity to think outside of that community. It's like, maybe that's real. Maybe their life is so hard that it just becomes hyper-focused on what's local.
And surviving.
Exactly. Even if that's the case, it is so fucking patronizing to say that you know better. Ma'am Donnie is the epitome of this.
The response to that?
Well, is the epitome of white people who are educated.
Right.
Voting for a guy who says he stands for the working class, where the working class doesn't give a shit about him. They didn't vote for him. Maybe they'll come around and like him now that he's the candidate and it's higher profile. But it's so funny to me that it's like, I'm here for the little man. It's like, oh, who voted you in? All the people who aren't the little man.
Yeah, the rich people.
Yeah, including yourself. You can spin your fucking background all you want, how you grew up in a land where there was persecution. It's like, okay, your parents came to the United States and they had pretty good lives at that point. And you didn't have to really do any real work until now, until you got your assembly member job a couple of years ago. This is why I don't trust him. He had a fucking wedding in Dubai, like the common man.
That's messed up.
I went to Dubai.
The working man? No.
Yeah. Just a normal old Joe from the street. But you say the things that you need to say that all the people who actually go out and vote because they can use that as an opportunity to show the rest of the world that they're good people. And here we are, fucking cult of personality who's going to be elected. It's become goddamn... It is like a sports team. It's like rooting for your team. But not even just like political or just not left and right at this point. Like the political figures within the different parties are now the different teams. It's like, I am just exhausted. Do you not see this guy as a fucking grifter? Do you not fucking recognize that he's desperate for fame? If you look at he code switches. Depending on
does
who
he?
he's,
I haven't seen that.
There's videos of it. Depending on who he's speaking to, he's got an
What's
accent.
What's his ethnic background?
He's is he Muslim? He was born in Uganda, but it's one of these things that he's presented. It's all over the place too.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he was like he was okay. Here we go. He was born in Uganda, but he was Indian.
Mom Dami. Okay.
I just don't buy into it.
No.
I don't like that politics is now a path for fame. AOC the same way. AOC's whole sob story. My dad died and I had to bartend to hold the family together. That's not what happened. Your dad owned an architectural firm that was doing very well. He died. He was a founder, so the money still came in.
Right.
You lived in the Bronx for 3 months of your life. I'm exaggerating, but it wasn't long. You moved.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. You moved to. Also, just living in the Bronx by default is very insulting. That I lived in the Bronx. I'm
like,
poor.
can you believe it? I was so broke and poor. The poor Bronx.
The Bronx has houses. It has middle class families. It's not.
Yeah.
It's people just think of the Bronx and they think of the Bronx is burning and crime and people setting fire to their buildings to collect insurance money.
Well, because that was like the 70s, right?
Yeah, there is,
Yeah.
And it's still some rough neighborhoods there, but. Just by living in the Bronx, Christina's mom lived in the Bronx. They lived in like a.
Did she have a hard
apartment.
scrap life?
No. I mean, it was like a lot of kids living in a small space, but it's just city living.
Yeah.
So then she went to like a fancy school for high school and moved to Westchester County. It's like, what the fuck? The yarn that you spin. I went to the Met Gala. To prove a point. I put on my Eat the Rich custom dress. The tickets for this thing, which you didn't pay for, but the tickets for the Met Gala, the dress, it probably all, if you add up the cost that would have gone into it, was more than some people's salary in a year. But you really stuck it to those billionaires with your dumbass dress. They're still reeling to this day. I don't know how to recover. And you really lifted the working and middle class up. People
can tell,
we're still reaping the benefits. If I were a politician that ran on those platforms, I would not fucking go to the Met Gala. I get that at some point you need to forge relationships with rich people so you can raise money and fund your campaigns. But I would not go to anything that compromised what my stance was. I'm not going to go then mingle with the people I claim to hate. And the reason you do it is because that's all you wanted to be. And you found a way there, and it happened to be politics. And it was on the backs of people who are actually struggling. So
Does anyone bring this up to her?
Go
Does
jump
anyone
off.
Call her out on that?
Yeah, go jump in the middle of traffic in the Cross Bronx Expressway. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been brought up, but the people who love her they're blind to it. It doesn't mean they'll just dismiss it. Like, I think you could still say, okay, this is real. This is what happened. But I still believe in what she's pushing, and I think she's the best opportunity to get those things done. That's a fair assessment. But this blind loyalty, it goes back to the patriotism thing you're talking about, is weird. It's fucking weird to me. You should definitely question her at that point. It's like, all right, I know all politicians do this, but she's really put a story out there. It's like, just as slimy as the rest of them.
It takes a certain type of person to be able to be honest with themselves about their own history or their own, not just their story that they need to tell about like their life, but also stuff they've said, experiences they've had that, may influence them to be of a certain class or to have certain ideals or or have like preformed thoughts about like the way that people are. But that same honesty,
preconceived notions, is that what you were thinking?
Thank you. Yes, preconceived notions. Thank you. That in turn is that honesty that you have with yourself can then translate into, let's say now you are in politics and you say your story the way that you know it. And when someone calls you out like that, and you say, you're just honest. You just go with honesty and say, yes, I did, the Bronx isn't as bad as the way that you are painting it. You're right. Maybe I painted it in such a way that it put me in a struggle place, and we didn't really struggle. My dad was this. We got the money for it. We did okay.
Why do you need to do it? Why can't anyone just come in and say, "Hey, this is how I grew up. These are my beliefs." That's what I'm saying.
Like even if it would be nice if they were honest with themselves, so that in those moments they can respond honestly and say, I didn't realize that was the picture I was painting. You're right.
But they do realize it. They do realize it.
Right.
They know what they're doing. And does it mean anything, I guess, is the question I want to ask. Do people look at that and say, she is one of us, so I'll vote for her? I don't think so. I don't think anyone who is struggling in the Bronx hears that story and cares that much. I think that's something to put forward for, people who are better off, who just like stories like that. Everyone these days is looking for some sort of mental disorder or something wrong with them or their trauma to define them. It's a weird fucking world that your identity has anything to do with any of these things. I was abused as a child. That's who I am. And it makes me better than you because I was abused harder than you. What the fuck?
The lack of community and the sort of disillusion that a lot of us have with the kind of world that we were somewhat promised, right? Like if you work hard, go to school, get a degree, you will have these things. And the fact that's not the case anymore, and then we're still shamed for for wanting those things or expecting those things, and it's like, oh, you're entitled. Like all of that, I think, leads to having not enough purpose. And so, and also maybe like things that you can't control. It's like, okay, well, and like you said, and also the lack of religion, right? So now I can pour myself into this. I can find something about me that brings me together with someone else or with a community so that I feel less alone. And so if you don't really have anything and then you see online on a TikTok, that like maybe you're neurodivergent, you're like, yeah, that is me. When really maybe everyone. That's just the human condition, it's
everyone's neurodivergent, which also means nobody's neurodivergent. Yeah. But brain chemistry alone is different for everyone. So if you really want to analyze it, and then okay, you're different than this person right there. It
diverges from someone else.
Yeah, from whatever the baseline is, which doesn't exist. What is just the normal baseline for someone's brain? Sure, you can find a range, I'm sure, of certain chemicals and endorphins. But, and then,
there are people that, if you want to use the word neurodivergent in some sort of more accurate way, there are people that are that, right? That like, you can tell them any date and they'll tell you if it's what day of the week it was, or like they remember dates in history and exactly what happened that day to a president. Like there are people that have that. That is what they're talking about with neurodivergency, or even like OCD, or something like that. But
I'm anxious.
I'm neurodivergent. There's this person on TikTok that, what's it called? They called it something. They had like a long sounding name for being able to hear different beats in a song. Like you're listening to a song, like it was a Justin Timberlake song, from that album he had with like Cry Me a River. And it was the person listening to it and pointing out the different instruments and like the different beats that they were on and saying like, if you can do this, this is a neurodivergency called blah, 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 blah. And everybody in the comments was like, I hear that. Like, isn't this just listening to music? And then a bunch of people came out saying like, this is not anything. This person made up this word. This does not make you special. This is just listening to music.
Well, there's such a desperation. I do think it's sad on some level.
It is kind of sad.
I'm frustrated and annoyed with it right now because also I've never really gotten into TikTok, but over the past 2 weeks, for whatever reason, I've watched videos and I see this desperation play out in the way that people need to separate themselves from other people. I don't fully get it. You talking about the lack of religion, me bringing that up earlier. It's clear why religion's formed. It's clear why they work.
Right.
When I decided I wasn't religious, it was really based in learning about gods and supernatural stuff. I was like, I just don't think that's real. That doesn't make sense to me. And I look back and I never felt like there was something missing though. I didn't feel like, but I lost that community and I need to fill it with another large scale shared cultural community. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know, man. I'm neurodivergent because I don't need it.
You are.
I don't.
Yep.
I don't.
I think that's what that is. Yeah. Yeah.
But I understand why the need's there. I get it. It's interesting to see that people really need to feel as though they're a part of something bigger. Like, I don't know. I had good friend groups and I always felt relatively fulfilled. I don't know. Maybe I would get more out of it if I got involved in something like that and I would find that I really loved it. But if it's going to be what we're talking about here, I don't want to be a part of it.
Mm-mm.
And I also just think that the blind acceptance, the faith, and I'm not just talking about religion. I'm talking about how it's spread everywhere. It's like, I just don't want to do that. And that doesn't make me feel good necessarily. That makes me feel like I'm just following along and not questioning anything. And that's not a nice existence.
Yeah. It seems like a more honest approach to a religion should be, go ahead, ask all your questions. Ask every question you want. And either that will solidify your faith or it will move you on. And as someone who is this faith, what do I want? I want the best for you. If that means that you're not a part of this religion, like, well, then I guess you'll burn in hell. But like, I hope the best for you, you know?
But that is weird that people in the most extreme sects of religion, sects, not sex, will just abandon the people who decide to leave.
Right. Yeah.
It's why can't you offer that support? Like, I don't agree with this. And if I really believe what I say, like you just said, I'm worried for you. But
right.
I also am not going to ditch you because I care about you.
Do I want you in here because, like, out of guilt?
Yeah.
Does that really mean that you believe?
That's really what it's been, though. It's fear and guilt that just driven so many people into it. It is you're holding people hostage at that point. Is that what you want? But I guess if you're benefiting, if you're one of the people who gets power from it and money, that is what you want. Exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that people get power. I mean, like, even back to the 10 Commandments, most of them are about like God is so petty. You know, don't look at anybody else except me. Like,
yeah. Wait, you question me? I'm wiping out your town with this flood.
That's right.
Suck on that.
No
bitches.
Other gods. There's no gods. No other gods. Don't make any dolls about me. I don't want to know. Don't look at me.
I know this plays out on the other side. I just don't know much about like Marjorie Taylor Greene or how she presents herself or what her backstory is. Because when she speaks, and not that I listen to AOC either. When they both speak, I'm like, shut up. But
yeah,
I am just more in tune with what's happening on this side. But I am curious. Like, does Marjorie Taylor Greene have a backstory about how she was poor Appalachian folk?
Diddy would make shoes out of rawhide.
Yeah, we lived in a mining town.
Yeah.
But she didn't. Like, you find out it's a lie?
Yeah, I don't know about that. It seems like it does seem more apt that the left would create like a sadder beginning so that they can be closer to the people that may vote for them, versus like Republicans who don't mind if you're wealthy, or at least they don't. It seems like the voters don't seem to care. They fucking love all these CEOs and Don Trump.
I still think the approach to billionaires is weird, though. I agree. It's fucked up that this wealth disparity exists and it's only growing.
Yeah, because Republicans are supposed to be like salt of the earth, right? Typically.
Yeah, but
or you're very rich. It's like you're real poor or you're real rich. I guess it's both it's on the same side. It's on the other side too.
with the billionaires, though, it's like take their money. It's like that's not the issue. It's a result. It's a result of the issues that are at play. You really want to fix things, you got to fucking break the system to an extent and rebuild it.
Yeah.
It's like, why are they able to garner so much money? Why is the wealth gap growing the way it is? It's just the easy, lazy way out when you're suffering and can't get the things you want, even if you're not suffering. But like you said earlier, you are told that the American dream is this. And when you did everything you're supposed to do, and even when you're doing well financially, you still can't achieve it. You are going to question things. But the answer at that point isn't go take all the billionaires' money from them. It'd be, it could fix things, sure. And it'd be nice if people who are so fucking rich that they could give a lot of away and it wouldn't hurt them would do that. But that doesn't really fix the problem. You need to dig in. It's the same thing with housing and freezing the rent. I already brought this up on the show before. Right. It's like if you're one of the few people who gets an apartment and they freeze the rent, good for you. I would love to be in that position. But I also realize the landlord's going to not take care of the building because they're not going to be able to keep up with their increasing costs. So the building's going to go to shit. The real issue is that it's so difficult to build housing in New York. There's so many hoops you have to jump through, so many permits you have to get. And you can spend years doing that, and it still goes to the city council, who can then say, no, and all that money's wasted, all that time's wasted. It's like, that's where you need to fucking look and start to change things. Again, give me an apartment where they can never raise the rent on me. I'll live there. But I also realize it's not the solution to the problem, but I'll reap those benefits.
But knowing that it could lead to the landlord not being proactive enough, do you think that you really would then move in?
Yeah, I'd live there until it, went to shit.
Okay.
I mean, even then, maybe I'd stay because the rent would be cheap. I don't know. I mean, at this point in my life, no. I did live in an apartment that was rent stabilized, and it was a shithole. But I was also 27, 28, and it was cheap rent, and I got to live in Manhattan, and it served the purpose at the time. So I did put up with some things, realizing that it was cheap. It was rent stabilized, so they can only raise the rent. Like one year, my rent was raised $12. I'm like, well, if you had any growing costs, hope that $12 helps you fix the building.
Well, $12 times
12. Okay,
everybody
140,
else.
144 extra dollars a year for me.
All right, but what about everybody else?
I get it.
How many people were there?
There were 2 buildings, 8 apartments in my building, 7 in the front building.
All right. 150 times 7.
But you had people like Johnny living there since the 80s, and his rent was like $400.
Right. Oh.
You had this guy Rocco who has been there so long. He had 2 apartments, and one of the rent in one of the apartments was $175 a month.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Wow. He had 2 apartments there?
Yeah, they somehow convinced him to give one up. I don't know what they gave him. They weren't even connected. He just had 2 apartments. He'd been there so long.
How far away from each other were they? Do you know?
They were stacked. So I think he lived on the top floor and he had an apartment below him.
Oh, that's so interesting. I know my apartment behind me is empty. And so I like to think that I would rent that one too. And then just like break a part of the wall to get through. And then I would have 2 apartments connected.
Yeah, like when Aiden was busting through Carrie's wall.
Oh my God.
Stop!
Aiden.
Stop! And that was the last night they spent together.
Except now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Now they're together again.
I saw a clip of her like snuggling up to him and thanking him. And the acting is just so bad because he was like, no, you smell like smoke. Go take a shower or something.
You're talking about?
Take your shower.
Where did you see this clip?
On TikTok.
Maybe
it was the new episode.
She smells like smoke again. Why?
I don't know. I'm not watching enough to know.
I haven't watched the new episode yet. Why would she smell like?
I guess.
Why should? So he's the same old Aiden. You're
no
smoking.
No one's the same old anything.
Well, her acting is so subdued now. She like has no personality anymore, no thoughts or beliefs.
Well, she got up and took a shower without even saying anything. And he said it so shitty to her.
I just don't understand what's happened to any of the characters.
No, it's so bad. It's really bad.
Anyway, you could get that second apartment and you could, bust the wall down. You have to get permits and stuff.
Nah, no one will know.
Or you could just rent it and cut a door out. Didn't Lucky do that at that?
Yeah.
At the apartment you lived in? He got the apartment next to him and they cut a doorway into the closet.
Yes,
something.
they did. That was cool.
Yeah, I don't know if that's so legal. I don't know what the laws in Atlanta are like, but usually if you combine two apartments, you got to clear things with the city. But that whole apartment existed below the law.
Oh, yeah. Nobody cares.
Not even above the law. It was like hidden way below. It was so far below the law. It's like, I don't know. It's a sanctuary in the middle of Midtown. The Rising.
I loved it so much. It was the coolest.
I mean, that was community, though. You want to talk about having...
Yeah.
I think on that level... And maybe there is something to be said. I mean, sure, there's something to be said. Like you live in a big city and you're around people, but when it's hard to find community, like it is kind of weird that people live in buildings together and don't really know each other or hang out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That when I first moved to New York, I knew the people who lived in the building, but granted, we were in our 20s and they were in their 20s. And so we would hang out. That shit changes. When I moved to my building, last apartment I lived in, I remember coming home one day and there was a guy coming out. I was like, hey, how's it going? He didn't fucking say anything to me. Didn't even nod his head. Didn't acknowledge nothing.
God.
He ended up moving after that. In that building, I at least knew some of the people just enough to say hello. And like you maybe have a short 1-minute conversation. But it is strange. So I guess like people are jumping to like large groups of inclusiveness. But I honestly feel like if you just had a very close group of friends, which I always felt like I did. Like it's harder as you get older and as you move around and stuff, but I think that does go a long way.
Yeah, I think it's important to have people around you. And I think that's a huge, maybe not a huge problem. There are, I think, a lot of problems with the way that we are designed to be as humans versus the way that we live now that lead to a lot of stuff, that could be changed and could be helped by going back to a more like human way of existing with each other. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that those are easy things. Like I put my AirPods in and don't want to be talked to. I get it.
Do you know your neighbor? I know you knew a neighbor at one point, but
yeah,
even
I know my neighbors.
Even in the suburbs, like growing up in the neighborhood I lived in, we knew each other and like people would gather and do things. I wonder if that still exists the same way.
It does in some places. Like my friend Anna lives in a cul-de-sac and she is friends with her neighbors and they all hang out and like the kids hang out and stuff.
Yeah. If the kids weren't there, do you think they'd hang out? Kids,
I'm not sure. They might. They like hanging out. So they might. But if their neighbors weren't up for it, then I guess they wouldn't be able to. I don't know. It depends on the people that are your neighbors. I
ask that because when I, say there was a community in the neighborhood I grew up in suburban Atlanta, it really was tied around the kids. Like we were friends with, everyone had kids and we were all somewhat the same age. So we'd hang out and then that brought the parents together. So I do wonder if the kids weren't there, if the same sense of community would have existed.
I mean, kids do bring people together like that. So, but I don't know. I mean, I was in Atlanta and none of us had kids and we all hung out in the courtyard.
Yeah, I mean, that's a unique thing because you lived in this building and that in its own right was somewhat inclusive and maybe, well, it was inclusive, somewhat exclusive. I mean, you had to kind of be screened and someone had to vouch for you if you're going to move in. It wasn't like an apartment popped up and anyone could get the apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
So you had, it's in a weird way, it's like a co-op where in New York, like you have to go in front of the board. I know it wasn't exactly the same, it was much more casual, but so you could go in front of the board and you tell them who you are and they scour your fucking finances. And I know that didn't happen at Zoffieville, but it's like, oh, there's just this group of people that decide if I get to live here or not.
Yeah, that is crazy.
But what you're talking about is much less snooty in a different way, because there was a snootiness to the place.
Yeah, there was. Maybe it was less snooty and more like protective.
Yeah, but you had to be a certain type of person. If a guy in a fucking business suit came, it's like, no. It's like you had to be like a creative.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. Like it was a unique experience. And, the fact that Brittany lived there, even though she was the kind of person who had trouble connecting with people and didn't really fit in. But because she was there when I was dating her, it's like, I got to be around it some too. And it was nice. I almost took a place there back in 2014 when I was hanging around in Atlanta for so much. I wasn't going to move back, and this was stupid. And I don't know what the fuck I was thinking because I didn't have money. I was like, yeah, I'll just get the apartment there and I'll keep that one and I'll keep my New York apartment. It's like, how the fuck are you going to pay for that? But like Zafi showed me one of them, but it was like in the corner on the first floor.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was too dark. I didn't like it.
That's a cool place though. That one. That was a good one.
You liked that one? Why? What was cool about it?
It was Gina's old place. I liked it.
Did it have carpet? I feel like they had carpet or something. It's gross.
No. Mm-mm. No carpet.
There was like a burn mark on the floor or something.
Well, who knows?
Almost. I almost lived there.
Yeah. How would you afford that?
Exactly. I don't know. I mean, the rent there was still relatively cheap. I don't know.
It was like $600, $620 something.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking though. It's like, yeah, I'll just do this. So, and I at the same time owned the house in Cabbagetown. Granted, my sister was living there, but it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Get an apartment, own the house, keep an apartment in New York.
That was with when you were down there all the time for Lady.
That's when I was down there because Eric.
Right, but then you fell in love with Lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I quickly, like if you look at the timeline of that whole thing, from like January, I came down to help Eric with the movie and build the podcast studio in his basement. Met Jessica. That's January. And by April, I was like, oh, what have I done? I'm in too deep. I'm in too fucking deep. I'm going back to New York. And then she said, I'll move. I'm like, don't move for me. Like, what a shitty.
Oh my God. You're like big.
Yeah, but what a shitty, like my behavior was not really acceptable either.
Yeah.
I was being honest at that point, and I was able to tell myself, you need to say this because it's the truth. Sure, okay, but analyze the behavior leading up to that. And none of that. I mean, so much of it's hard, I guess, but it's like there were moments during it where I guess I knew better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
It's hard though. You're in the middle of it and you want to believe, I guess, and you don't want to face it. It's too hard to face.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's okay. It's just, that's how.
Moving to New York, I felt like an obligation at that point. And I think that's why I did things like co-signed a loan that maybe she wouldn't repay. She did, luckily. I was like, all right, well, you're here and you're struggling financially. It's my fault. So here's a lot of money.
How much was the loan?
I don't know, $10,000 no, there was like a $14,000 loan.
Yeah.
I co-signed her lease because she didn't have enough money, so if she didn't pay rent, I was legally obligated.
Thankfully, she did.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, okay, I'll sign it. I didn't want to, but I just did it because I felt a sense of guilt and obligation.
Maybe that's how we're talking. The people that on the left feel. It's like this was our fault. So
no, I think it makes them that. Well, if it was the same, that I'd go around and I'd tell everyone, it's like I co-signed a lease with this person because I care about their survival, which I did care. It's not like I didn't care. It's just like I'm putting myself in. I didn't have a lot of money at the time. It's like I'm putting myself in a precarious spot. If things go wrong, like I'm fucked and I'm going to get sued also.
Yeah.
or whatever the process is.
For someone who you have no legal ties to except for these loans.
Yeah. But if I were like the people today, I'd be flaunting it. It'd be my identity. I'm the person who co-signs loans and leases because I'm so empathetic. I'm an empath, and I think about how hard it is for people to survive, and that's why I go out and put myself at legal and financial risk.
Well, that's the mental gymnastics stuff, right?
Aren't I so amazing?
Yeah.
I'm better than you. You'd never do such a thing, but I would, because
instead of recognizing what you're really doing, which is like not facing your own hard feelings. You're like, no, I'm just an empath and I just can't help but help. You know, I just makes me feel so good.
Yeah. I'm the best person there is. See?
Mm-hmm.
I am white. I am, but I'm good. I'm a good white person.
I'm a good white person. I'm sorry for everything that maybe my ancestors didn't even do because we're not from here. But I'm sorry that I might.
Yeah, I'm sorry for fucking humanity as a whole. Overall, all sorts of people of all races and ethnic backgrounds killed each other. Yeah. It's the way it was. It's fucked up, but it's the way it was.
We talked about that a little bit about like Native Americans on the radio show on Wednesday.
Oh, I know you were making Tim nervous. I could tell.
I know, because I was just trying to talk like an Indian guy.
But even outside of that, the things you were saying, I think was.
Oh, what did I say?
I can't remember now. I just remember there was a moment. I was like, "Oh, you're starting to like push some views and thoughts on this," and I don't know if Tim's completely comfortable with what you're saying.
Oh, well, I don't remember, but the picture that's sort of painted. So it's the other way too. It's like, yeah, Americans came to this country and fucked their shit up. Absolutely. And there should be a ton of apology for that. Right? But the other side of it, but we're not reminded of that growing up, right? In school, we're not educated about that because Thanksgiving, we got together and we liked the Native Americans, you know.
We did learn about the Trail of Tears, but I feel like it was quick.
It was quick.
Glossed over.
It was so quick. And it's like, what did that mean? It just happened to like one group and they had to walk. Okay. No, it wasn't just that. But then the other side of it is that like, it wasn't like the Native American tribes were these like peaceful, just hippies hanging out, like being friends with. No, they were just as savage and ruthless as we were to them because we're all humans.
Well, there was a range. Like they built their own like philosophies and ways. Like some were more peaceful than others. They probably like this.
Yeah,
is the way
they had societies for sure.
Our society thinks that we should try to get along, but also the reality of the situation is you got to protect yourself. And then you had the ones who were more ruthless.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't just one way. Just like Europeans weren't all just like take everything from everyone. I mean, a lot of them were, but not like. There were also like philosophers and thinkers and poets and people that disagreed but I don't know. I
mean, Japanese imperialism was it didn't end even 100 years ago yet.
Right.
And that was pretty ruthless. I'm not saying it to say excuse all the other.
No, it's not an excuse. No.
It's just the way things were.
Yes.
So when does it end? When do you, as a person who had nothing to do with it, who thinks that things should be different, and are working to build a world where they are different, when do you let the fucking past go?
Yeah. I think you can let it go when people acknowledge that it happened and it isn't something.
Who doesn't acknowledge it?
Schools, our own history.
No, I mean
our administration.
I do
talking
agree.
About like, bring back the Redskins because of the. It's like shut up. Dude.
I agree that they teach it in a way where it's not presented as the reality, or when it is, it's still like quick and glossed over, and then you still are told Columbus is a great guy.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that, but it's been acknowledged. It's like Germany can't spin it anyway, so they don't. And they do teach it for what it was. And I know when you're young, like a small kid, like you don't really even grasp what it is, but I don't really feel like some people go to such extremes, like they're fearful. You put that in my kids' minds, then they're going to hate themselves. It's like, if you were a good parent and had a conversation with them about the realities of it and how it doesn't mean there, but then no, that's not real. It's like you just assuming that your kid can't handle the nuances and complexities of the actual world. And sure, when they're really young, it's harder for them to grasp it, but you can start. It's not just either or. Well, if you teach them this, they're going to hate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't see themselves as the oppressor in that story. They see it as the people from the past were the oppressors. They don't identify with them.
Yeah, it's like this. Look at this awful thing, and we've worked to make sure shit like this doesn't happen.
Yeah,
even though it still does in many places around the world that we don't hear much about.
I want to quickly say that I made that little point about the Redskins. I know that like the nation of the people, that the person that like drew the character for the Redskins,
the
like
logo.
the face,
that
their tribe is fine with the word Redskins, and like they're fine with the blah, 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 blah. It's just the attitude of the president that really just pissed me off. That's all.
Well, I mean, the name, I think, I don't care if they're fine with it or not. I think it's a pretty offensive name.
It is Redskins.
Because the way it was used, like if it were like a self-ascribed thing, like, yeah, we're Redskins. And I was like, it's different. But the way it was used, I get it. But yeah, the Trump's approach on that was weird. I'm not giving you funding unless you bring the team name back. Why do you care? Why go down that road?
Somebody said it and he liked the person that said it. And so now he's saying it too.
It's just weird. It's like, do I go down that road? It's not even something you needed to touch. Like you open that box yourself. I don't think even enough of the country cares that the name changed.
Nobody fucking cares. The thing I cared about was that it changed so many times.
Well, I mean,
this is stupid.
It just changed from Redskins to football club to
which I loved.
Commanders. Yeah, I think that was cool too.
I don't know anything about anything, so I don't really have a vote, in something like that because I don't care about sports. But I thought that sounded like a cool name.
Washington Football Club. It's very soccer-esque.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Because that's how these teams name themselves. They don't have goofy mascots. The Red
Well, there's
Sox.
some lady elephant. I think she's I think it's basketball. And it's a lady mascot, and she's an elephant, and she's really good. I really like her.
Mrs. Met. She's hot.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. You should look up Mr. and Mrs. Met. They pat her butt.
Are they married?
They pat her butt and her hips.
So she's like the Incredibles.
You look it up. Yeah, just look up Mr. and Mrs. Met.
Okay.
See if I typed in Mrs. Met butt, and there's a picture of Mr. Met and Mrs. Met looking away, and he's wearing really saggy pants with a flat ass, and hers.
I just googled Mr. and Mrs. Butt instead of Mets.
Met butt, and hers is round.
Oh,
plump.
You think there's a guy in there?
No, I think it's a woman in there, but it is funny that they.
Oh yeah, she's padded for the gods. She's like a drag queen.
Mrs. Met is hot.
I don't like those white service gloves.
Yeah, like the Mickey Mouse type gloves.
I know, but that comes from minstrels.
Yeah. Well, you got to hide your hands at least.
That's true. I don't really care. I just think it's funny to come up with all kinds of problems.
All right. Where's Eric?
He is still on an extended vacation. That's what Tim keeps saying.
I know, which is only making things worse.
You think so?
People, they all have their theories.
Oh, what are they saying online?
Well, I mean, there's only a few different directions you can go. Either he was suspended. A lot of people think he was suspended because of the rant he had the day before he disappeared.
Oh, that is not the case, guys.
But they go back and analyze everything. Like I listened to the show and he was really not happy with management and said he couldn't say the things he wanted to say. So either, it goes in the direction of either they forced him to take a break or he decided he didn't want to do it anymore and needed to reassess things.
Oh, gosh.
But then people are like, if he was fired, suspended's one thing. But they're like, I think he was fired. It's like, no, because the show wouldn't exist. His voice wouldn't be on the station, which is true.
Yeah.
I try to drop little hints by liking certain comments that I see.
Oh, nice. Which ones did you like?
I mean, it's mostly just things. I should not say anything in that way.
Oh, right.
Well, it's at the end of the show. So if anyone's still listening, they deserve to know. It's the ones that say it's probably a personal matter.
Yeah.
And he needed to take some time for either him or his family. I hope everything's okay.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
But
it's not a fun,
it's just that everyone
response. It's just the way it is.
No, it's like, but it's also none of people's business.
It's not. It's interesting that they're like,
I get why you want to know, but
I would too. I'd be like, oh yeah, this happened.
But it just becomes worse as time goes on. Like the Carathon started, and it's like he wouldn't miss this for a vacation, which is probably true.
That's true. That's true.
So the vacation thing's not holding water anymore.
It's not holding up, Tim. Come up with a new one, you liar. No, but that's a good point. If you're still listening, good job. You get the secret tea.
Well,
it's just a personal thing. He needed to take the time.
I know. Are we allowed to say that? I don't know. Anyway, all right.
A personal thing?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, that's what it was.
Wrap it up.
Hey, thanks for listening. Bow, 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 bow.